Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of my Cyber Airman series, where I discuss recruitment process running the Royal Air Force as the enlisted personnel um, in the current day and era, being 2021, backdrop of the COVID pandemic. This episode, as I said, previous one would be about the Airman Selection Test, which I will refer to as the AST throughout the rest of this video. Before we get into doing the AST, a couple of quick updates. First of all, my own application. I have my RAF medical week on Monday. Pretty much the only thing I failed on was eyesight. So now I'm going to go visit my opticians, get my eyes checked out, get prescription glasses and API glasses. Then I can go back to the medical, retake the eye test. Hopefully be able to continue that. Also, recently got an update on the actual recruitment process at the moment. Fitness tests are back on, now back open. Also, it looks like the pre-recruit training course, we used to go down to Bolton for a couple of days before going off for recruit training, is no longer happening. I'm not sure if that's for the foreseeable or they may change it in a month's time. I don't know yet, but there has been confirmation the pre-recruit training course or the recruit familiarization visits aren't happening for Holton. They are still happening for applicants to the RAF regiment, but for regular Air Force, it's not happening. So you do your AST, you do your interview, you do your medical, you do your pre-joining fitness test, final admin, your security questionnaire, go out, then get your start date for phase 1 training, off you go to Holton. That's how the recruitment process currently stands at this moment and going forwards. To the bleep test you still have to practice for. I highly recommend it. As soon as you've done your fitness test, practice the bleep test like crazy. We'll be doing it at the start of phase 1 training. Right, let's get into the AST then. You have 7 sections to do, timed test. For some sections, time is a little bit more generous than others. So we'll go section by section. First section is verbal reasoning. This is where you have a paragraph of text, say Bob does this, Rob plays with Jesse, Jesse lives here, Jesse's sister goes to school with Bob's sister, and so on. That's the sort of paragraph you have to read. Then you get a bunch of questions asking we have to extract the information paragraph. Like a case like, say, what school does Bob's sister go to, for example. This is where the advisor had, which I have posted on Reddit, people asked about the AST, which I will share here, is read the question. This is where it's really important. Read the question, make sure you understand the information presented, therefore you can answer the question. After that, leave verbal reasoning, you have a paragraph. May also be, trying to remember, I believe this also like a chart of information you're given, but do some there, you got to extract information by looking at the chart. Next up is numeral reasoning. This is maths, basically. I believe 2 sections. The second section, slightly less time. You will get a scrap piece of paper to work out calculation. Read the sums, and this is where I tripped up. It may be a print thing, but any trouble with the question paper, stick your hand up. One of the recruiters will come over. You can then say to them quietly the issue is. But other than that, do your best. It is maths, but it is GCSE level maths. Then there's work rate is and isn't test. There isn't a specific test. It's calculated from your overall how many questions you answer. One who don't stress about it. Answer as many questions as you can, but try to answer them as accurately as you can. You'll probably find in some sections you will finish before time. So work through an even rate, make sure you understand the question, answer it as correctly and through work rate as a score on its own for the roles or trades. It's only one couple of trades that require work rate in their score, and that was like a pretty low score because it's like out of 9. After that, spatial reasoning, which is where you get shapes, like 3D shapes or 2D shapes with a dot in one corner. Other shapes, and you've got to work out which shape is the same shape as the other one, just oriented around a different way. Next up is electrical comprehension. This is basically how well you understand electrical, trying to sort of engineering. Just sort of basics, knowing about voltage, amps, etc., etc. The RAF website sections about the AST does link through or suggests a really good video series on YouTube which explains this sort of thing, which I found extremely useful. I believe second scores. Yes, I actually got a 9 out of 9 on electrical and comprehension thanks to that. Just basically brushing up on my knowledge of that area. Then there's a mechanical comprehension. This is your basically neutrons, force, pulleys, that sort of thing, basically. How much force for such a situation, like a car going uphill, something like that. Again, this is meant to be GCSE level 2, probably physics, science, probably need to look at for that. And then there is the memory test, which is in 2 sections. They basically put up on the screen like a couple of patterns, and you've got to remember both patterns and then select the answer with both patterns combined. Throughout, it is multiple choice answers throughout, and they're your 7 scores you get. A lot of the trades will require at least a couple of scores in order for the entry requirement. I believe the only one which requires all 7 scores is cyberspace communication specialist, trade I've gone for, which thankfully I managed to score for quite comfortably. I believe the highest score you need in a given area is 6. That. So you're looking at sort of GCSE level revision. That'll be area to look at for your revision effort, and also practice the test is on the RAF website. It's similar. It gives you a feel for like the timed sort of questions they may be asking on the actual itself. Practice that so you get to the format. Praise themselves are generally, when you get the results, grades are generally grouped into 4 job groups: A, B, C, and D. in your schools for various areas: verbal reasoning, number reasoning, work rate, spatial reason, electrical comprehension, mechanical comprehension, and memory are used to calculate your group scores. So you kind of need to make sure you work as best as you can in all areas to make sure you get the best score possible. But I've done the test 3 times. I consider myself to be pretty average when I was at school. Yet every time I've taken it, I've managed to score for every single grade. If I had the qualifications, full driver's license, well, I have full driver's license now, but when I've taken in the past, if I had full driver's license qualifications, my options were limited, or limited. I could have gone for any single, provided I met the other requirements. So the job groups themselves said A, B, C, and D. Generally, they cover broad categories of jobs. So some would be a bit out of place. That's how they're structured. That's how they've done the scores. Scores do change over time. It's based on the requirements, but basically when you get scores back, the priority trades one they're looking to recruit people for will generally be bolded, highlighted. So that's the trade which is in demand for people they want to aim for. So, going a quick rundown. Group A, I call the service group. Is your sort of admin, personnel support, chefs, your movers, your suppliers. So the service side of the Air Force. Ones that sort of like provide service to the Air Force going. Group B, I would call force protection, because it includes the RAF regiment and the RAF police. It does include PTIs and drivers for some reason as well, but that's how it's structured. So take with these wide categories as just loose definitions as a rough idea. Group C, I call ops or operations. There's your sort of flight controllers, air traffic control staff. Also seems to include the sort of medical staff like the medics, the dentists, and so on. Group D is where my category label fits perfectly. It's technical, which covers all the technical trades, so your aircraft technicians for avionics, mechanics, cyber communication specialists, and so on, so forth. As I said, group scores are calculated on scores for each test. So obviously do the best you can. Generally, group scores tend to range from about group specific trade tends to requirement that is tends to range from 50 70 at most. But obviously, the best you do, the more trades you will score for. But when you do the test, as I said, revise by doing GCSE level stuff, because that test is basically is. When you do the test, keep calm, read the question, hammer that into your head, read the question. Make sure you understand the question, what is being asked, what information it wants, therefore you can answer the question correctly and work at an even rate. Don't worry if you're running out of time to answer questions. The more questions you can answer correctly, the better. So don't try to rush and just guess, because you will be marked down if you just guess and get the wrong answer. They only are looking for correct answers. So even if you don't completely answer all the questions, along with most or all of those questions you have answered correctly, that will help you big time. So, case of that's the AST in a nutshell. When you did your initial application, obviously you get given the choice to choose 3 different trades you're interested in. Once you've done the AST, you can change those options if you wish. If you've discovered you scored for a trade you didn't think you'd just score for, a bit like me, I originally chose, I think, mover, supplier, and personnel support. Did the AST and discovered, yeah, I scored for cyberspace communication specialist. So I decided to change that and said to my recruiter, they were quite happy about. And then, okay, Space was at the interview, which I'll cover in my next episode. But some of the trades will have qualified and unqualified different scores for each one. Qualified means you meet all the education requirements. So basically, so many GCSEs at such and such. Your if you did it pre-2017, this will be like C or above. If you did it after 2017, this will be grade 4 to 5 range. Unqualified means you don't meet the education qualifications, but as long as you score on the AST, you can still go for it. So hopefully that clears all that up, gives you an understanding of what the AST is about. As I said, next episode will be about the interview. Any further updates I received the application process, I will let you guys know. And likewise, any questions, anything you show off, any comments, feel free to post away in comments below. Thanks for watching. Best of luck if you're going in. All right. Take care. I'll see you next video.